Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast, PubChat. We are at our favorite Irish pub here in Austin, Texas, BD Riley's. El Presidente, and I am with the garage bar manager, Zach. What's going on?
Not too much, man. Happy for a good win today. It was tough, but we pulled it up.
3-0 victory over Brentford. And let's go with the lineup because it was kind of surprising. A lot of people didn't think Simicus would start again after playing midweek. Endo got the start in the center midfield. Really, a lot of those are really predicated on the injuries that we have right now. The squad depth, as you texted me early, like look at our bench. It wasn't what we're been accustomed to all season. So we came in there with a couple question marks. Could Endo play in the Premier League start at the six? And Simicus coming off the Toulouse game is like, everybody's like wondering how he was going to be. You brought so we had Van Dijk, Matip, Arnold, Soboslai, um, Gapco played kind of like a 10,
Yeah, yeah.
so we dropped him. We didn't really have a left-sided midfielder per se, and then obviously Salah, Jota, and Nunez up front, and that's a starting lineup that should win majority of Premier League games. That's it's a strong lineup. Other teams would be begging to have a starting lineup like that. So, any thoughts about that lineup? I know that, like I said, we texted it before the game, and we are kind of worried about the bench. What your thoughts on the initial lineup?
Uh, I think we had talked about I don't want to touch too much on Thursday, but um, Endo's over exuberance and whether or not he was going to make rash tackles and whether he was going to put the rest of the team out of position. But he had a couple of them today. There was obviously that check, but I thought he played pretty well. And Samikis coming off of Thursday and that mishap, I thought he played pretty well. I mean, obviously we're missing the physicality from Robertson and the intensity, but I thought overall the midfield was pretty solid. We had talked about Sobasai maybe dropping a little, but I think overall I think the midfield played well, and any demise today was from our own mistakes and the complacency in the back. But I thought we played pretty well.
You know, um, Captain Chaos. Nunez. He is a guy that you pay money to come watch because you never know what's going to happen. Obviously, he scores a goal at the beginning, and it just his big toe is offsides, barely offsides, right? Followed up with that a few minutes later with that overhead kick, and he was offsides again. So credit to the linesman. They don't normally get things right, but they got both those calls right before it went to VAR.
Right.
But he was a constant menace the whole game. He brings just a different dimension when he's playing. He's running behind. He's winning headers. He's making diagonal runs, and then it took a while for us to break them down. But it came off, turnover in the midfield. We get it to Nunez, and he plays a perfect diagonal, just a through ball to Salah, who puts it into the far post. And good for Salah, and his game is changing. You can kind of see it as it's happening, and that it's not the one on one getting by people. It's more of the a calculated on angles and things like that, right?
Yeah, yeah, and talking to a few others here that last year Nunez's assist contributions usually push him to the byline and he'd put it back into the box, and now I think that he's added a little bit more flair to his assists in his games, and as you saw today with that pass to Mo, and yeah, that finish by Mo was a classic Mo finish, and we haven't seen a lot of that because he's adding. He's drawing so many more people to him, and I don't know. Mo can do everything. He's just master Mo, and I think it's tough to not keep your eyes on him.
We let's go back to Endo. I think for him and Simicus to get a shutout, right?
Right.
Not just them, but I mean it's the whole team. And Allison made his saves. Van Dyke played very well. Kind of looks like he's almost all the way back to where he needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
Matip, I thought was superb back there. But for those two players in particular, Simicus and Endo, after all the questions from midweek, for them to come into the Premier League, start, get a shutout, um, it has to do a lot for them, their own confidence,
Mm-hmm.
but I think for the team as well, that they can be dependent on, if they need to be. we all know they're not going to play every game. You know, when Robbo comes back, Simicast may just drop back to the bench. But we need them. We need every single person on the squad to achieve the goals that we want to this season.
Yeah, and you look at a defender and you're looking to clear balls, you're looking to be in position, and I touched on it before. I mean, it's hard to compare when you have such a great defender as Robertson on the team, but Tsimikas is there. He was there all game. He was making good plays. He made smart decisions. He was there. He hustles off the ball, and I think the same with Endo.
You know, I think Endo, he's very. I think you mentioned it earlier. He's over exuberant. He wants to impress. He's trying too hard at times. He's going into tackles, maybe when he shouldn't. But the effort is always there. I think it just for someone that doesn't get a run of games, obviously, it's
Right.
going to be hard to play in the center of the pitch for this Liverpool team. You know, you have to think about when Fabinho came to the team with the credentials, and it took him 6 months to play that number six,
Yeah.
right? And then even when he did, he had Henderson next to him as a kind of a partner. So it's not the easiest position on this team to play because you're the way we play, or we're pushing our fullbacks up. You know, that number six has to be there. I thought Endo did pretty well. I think when he puts himself in trouble is when he's trying to hold the ball because he's not physically big, and they just lean on him, and he kind of. But when he's moving the ball, you know, it. I think that's better for him to do that. So you talk about this transition to Simicast. You talked about his hustle. That first the second goal um, that we scored for Salah. That's that's all Simicast getting to that end line, saving the ball from going out, and just putting the ball across the top for Salah, who heads it. And
Gakpo did a great job because I thought Gakpo was going to try to make a move, and if he tried to put a touch on that, he wouldn't have got what Samikas had got.
mm-hmm.
So he took out a defender by leaving it to Samikas, and luckily the ball stayed in bounds, and it was a great cross, and Mo didn't have to do much.
Yeah, I mean, just the state of the game these days. You know, you don't celebrate until
Yeah.
until you actually know, because we didn't know if that ball was out of bounds or
I
not.
thought
You
it was
know,
offsides, to be frank.
yeah. So I mean, you've been frank before,
I
but that's another story.
yes, for another time.
Yeah.
But yes, no, I mean Samikas. He's a good fill-in, but there were moments in the game where you could tell why he is our backup, and we can't wait till Robertson gets back in the lineup.
Yeah, Robert adds a little bit more physicality on that wing, so he doesn't get pushed off the ball. Kind of like Endo. Simicast is similar in the stature, where if anybody's leaning on him, they they don't usually win those physical battles. But you know, Simicast played well. He gets credit for another assist on Jota's goal, and
Yep.
there's no doubt about Jota's goal. There, you could celebrate that right away. And
That's
what a player
Yep.
he is. You know, he just
He's silent.
encompasses everything, right?
There's games where he'll go, 3 or 4, and he does a lot of work off the ball, and he won't do anything, and then all of a sudden he'll pop off 3 or 4 goals in 2 games, 3 games, and for me, you don't see a lot of balls on the edge of the box that Jota shoots. Right,
Mhm.
he doesn't shoot a lot of those balls from that distance. He's usually getting a head on it, or he's cleaning up. But that goal was nothing short of brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, there's not many things that are less entertaining than a Jota goal, man. I mean, just he's he
He's
just
better than he's better than Figo, don't you know?
I've heard that. I've heard that, and we've sang that song a couple times. But you know, as we go into the international break, I think it was very important for the psyche of the team, because I know a lot of people are saying we're in this mini slump, right? Which is true. The last couple of games, we had not shown that what we were capable of, and whether it would be complacency or overconfidence. I think today, from the beginning of the game, we went at Brentford. We didn't give them a moment to relax, and they did have some chances. You know, you're playing against a Premier League team.
So
Every team is going to get chances, right?
Yep.
And so you have to just manage them. We made some good last ditch effort on a couple of the defensive plays.
Mm-hmm.
But I think overall, I haven't really looked at the stats after the game. I think it was pretty comprehensive, you know, and like I said, a very positive game to go into the break,
Mm-hmm.
and then that first game back after the break, my friend.
It's gonna be it's tough that it's an early game. Both sides are gonna take a hit in terms of the international break. There was the argument of we do have a lot more early games than all the other teams. I think by what 7 or 8, 9. But that's going to be going to the Etihad. That's going to be a tough game, and that lineup is going to be crucial. And we're going to have to show up.
We'll do another podcast to preview that game. It's a big game. It's the early kickoff. Really, no team has an advantage for that game because Manchester's 45 minutes down the road. They have just as many internationals as we do. They're traveling just as far as we are to play their games. So I don't really think that's going to be the factor. The factor is going to be the mentality of the team going into that game. And can't wait. Garage Bar will be open, right?
I will be there. I will be there. It will be open. I'll be there about 5:30. So whoever wants to show up, we're gonna have plenty of drinks to go around.
That's right. So as we sign off, I love these last games before the international break. You got to win those games, man. So we did the business today. Got a shutout for Allison. And what more can you ask? 3-0, and then right now we're tied for first. And I'm hoping that Chelsea gets a result against Man City today. Maybe, who knows? But you can dream,
hey,
right?
Hey, crazier things have happened. So,
That's right. That's right. The Premier League season is going to be very interesting moving forward. Liverpool is going to be right there all the way.
100%.
So quit. A lot of people out there like, no, we can't compete with Man City. Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Have confidence in the team, be faithful, and we're going to be there right at the end. So, until next time, please subscribe, put on your notifications, like the page, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Thanks, Philip. Thanks, Philip.
Philip, our video guy is gone.